and welcome.
Wow.
Hello.
Hello.
I like
Hey.
Billy. You
Willkommen.
have you got the. I can. No, I can't even lean to do that. Unfortunately. But it was a good entrance.
I can't lean
I take
anymore in
it-
general after this year.
Yeah,
This is
you
no,
got the-
no bodily
You got
movement.
the standy desk. I take it, Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Let me tell you, it's the life. It's very good. I love being able to stand at work, and right now I'm sitting because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But, you know, anyways. I want to have the blanket. It's cold in here.
That's
Like,
warm.
that's really
That's
the key.
what
It's
matters.
like, yeah, the standing. You can't stay warm during the standing
No.
process because there's no blankets allowed, and it's cold as hell
Yeah.
in this house. Anyways, Death Battle Cast. Ben, I'm gonna let you do your job. Go for it.
Hello, and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. Usually we start every show with that. Apparently not today. Anyway, this is the very first episode of 2021, which is crazy. We are kickstarting our 10th year of Death Battle, as of last month, but you know, whatever, close enough. And we just released our season finale for season 7, Hulk versus Broly, which we are going to be diving into today. So if you have not watched Hulk versus Broly, beware of spoilers, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers like in this episode, for good reason. This is a big episode, and of course people have questions regarding the crazy ass ending of the episode. So we can just go ahead and get into it, but first I do want to mention we need to give a shout out to a certain show that Rooster Teeth has been helping produce, Transformers War for Cybertron. It's now on Netflix. The second chapter for the War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise, brought to you by Rooster Teeth and Hasbro. Yeah, we're working on an actual Transformers series. It's kind of neat. So you should go check that out. It's on Netflix. It's really neat. All right, so I think we can just jump right into the Q&A, right? I guess we haven't introduced ourselves, if that matters. Does everybody know who we are? I'm Ben. I'm the voice of Wiz. That's Sam. He does things.
Yeah. All right.
That's Liam.
But
he's the one who wrote this episode.
Hi.
And then that's Billy. He's the one who made it look purty.
Hey, everybody.
And it was purty.
Yeah.
I would have to say, Billy, that it was hella purty.
I
I was to
appreciate
throw
that.
out an adjective.
Yeah, we had a pretty great team on that one. It came out looking really neat. So
Yeah.
I was happy.
I am. It's a Dragon Ball character, so of course we've had mixed opinions on past Dragon Ball related episodes, but man, the response to this one has been like so positive, and I think a lot of that has to do with just how awesome the fight looks, because like
Definitely.
you guys knocked it out of the park. I'm so happy with how it turned out.
And speaking of being an awesome looking fight, we actually will go into more detail next week with both Billy and Mel, the lead animator for the episode, about how they made it look so good. But this episode, we're going to focus on the questions and answers of the fight.
Yes. So
Who won and why?
let's go ahead and get into that. First question.
Do you want me to start knocking out some answers then? You want me to start or hitting these cues? All right, well, Q1. Why was Umar used as a multiplier for Hulk? Isn't it more of a stamina feat than a strength feat?
So
Umar feat. I love
the
this
Umar
feat.
feat. Yeah, I love
Feat
it too. It's so in terms of the Hulk's transformations, stamina should scale with strength and speed in the same way, so it still works. The reason why it was picked over people bring up the Pandora feat, where it actually mentions like it's a different multiplier. It's like 133 times versus the 120 that we gave Hulk for Umar. The reason why I went with the Umar feat is because the multiplier involves how much better the Hulk is at sex, and just could not use that because it was so funny. So part of that was just a phone just muted. Great.
Don't worry, you're good.
Good.
Good. Okay. Yeah, the part of the reason was just because it was so super funny and entertaining and just a comical way of expressing that feat. It's also Boomstick. presented as the one that's delivering it, so he would be interested in that kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically why.
It was just overall a really good way to showcase his upper limit in a way that maybe people weren't expecting, but still a good way to showcase his upper limit. Especially in comparison to Broly, who is, well, spoilers, way higher. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the second question.
Yeah, why did you say that Broly from the Z era and Broly from the Super era are the same characters?
Okay, I'll cover this one because I saw, I guess this going around from on Twitter and whatnot from some I guess respected Dragon Ball YouTubers and whatnot complaining about this. But what they were complaining about and what they were tweeting about was half of a sentence taken out of context. If you actually watch the episode, that's not what we said at all. The whole point of looking at Dragon Ball Z era Broly was to get whatever information we would need to help just explain what his abilities are. Like Super Broly goes into his legendary Super Saiyan state or full power state, right? But the movie's never like, this is the legendary Super Saiyan state and it does this and this. It never explains that. So we're just kind of pulling from, like we typically do. We have our primary source, which is the Dragon Ball Super Broly, and we can pull from other elements to sort of help explain what's going on with the character. That's also why Kale was used. Kale and Broly are obviously not the same character, but she still uses a similar ability, so we can kind of, compare it in that way. And that's all. That's all it was.
Right, and it was basically just their backstory is the fundamental major difference between them.
Well, backstory. I think the issue that people had was like they were somehow interpreting it us saying that they have the same level of power,
right?
Which is obviously not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I figured that was so obvious that we didn't need to say it, but apparently not. Oh well, it's just a thing.
Cool. So Liam, just out of curiosity, here's a me question. Do you like, having gone through this, how do you think Z and Super compare just as shows? Just because like I have a lot of opinions on like Z and Super as shows.
Shows? Yeah. They're... So I think Z is helped out by the fact that most of it is based off of Toriyama's stuff, even if it's like dragged out into like a lot of filler. Super has more problems in terms of story structure. It feels a little derivative of Z stuff. I thought Super Broly is like way better than Z Broly. I think that's like no debate. But overall, I'm not the biggest fan of Super. I prefer Z, although in both instances, well, I don't know about the Super manga, but I prefer the Dragon Ball manga over anything in the anime. Just for pacing's sake.
Well, so let me move on to question 4, because I will agree with your smart man opinion. Can't Hulk come back from total disintegration because
we skipped one. We skipped one.
Oh, my bad. Tab said that old Broly has healing capabilities, but that's not true. It also says new Broly uses sensu beans, but that's also not true. Where are you getting this false information?
This was interesting. I saw a lot of people sharing the image of this tab. Honestly, like in relation to the previous question, which is weird because it contradicts people saying that we use the same Broly, or we use both Brolys as the same Broly, because it's a clear differentiation of them. I don't really understand why so many people complain about this tab, because it's just how it is, and it's us kind of covering our bases. Broly got a bag of sensu beans at the end of the Super movie. He didn't use them, which I guess, some people might have a debate over whether or not he should be able to use something that he's never technically been seen using. Sure. But we also didn't, factor that into the final result or anything like that. It was just sort of covering our bases. And then the healing capabilities, bro. Somehow he survives exploding into bits at the end of the first movie,
Yeah.
the old school Broly. And he shows up in the second movie, and he's like super messed up, lands on Earth, he passes out, some sort of healing thing happens. It's never really explained. And then he gets back up later on, and he's fine. So there's some sort of healing capability going on. Not healing factor. We did not say healing factor, so everybody complaining about us giving Wolverine healing factor to him is they're just making shit up. So there's some sort of healing capability going on here. And we don't have confirmation that the Broly that we are using, Super Broly, has that same capability. So we were just kind of covering our bases there. That's all it was. If there's some issue there that I'm just not getting, please let me know, because everybody I saw complaining about it was just like, look at how dumb this is. And that's all they said, which is, super constructive.
I love the concept of like, his Broly gets the sensu beans but he doesn't use them, but he gets them, right? He acquires the sensu beans, and then people are like, well, we've never seen him eat one. Can he eat? It's like, yeah, we're pretty sure Broly can eat a bean.
He never learned how to do that.
That's like, he can eat a bean. I think we're good, right?
Paragus never taught him to eat.
Anyways, so
it just shocked him.
It's in keeping for
on
Paragus.
To the next one. Can't Hulk come back from total disintegration? Because the leader has done that. Why did the hypothalamus matter if the Hulk could just regenerate from it via the green door? Wow, that is.
I'm about to say
that's a sentence, boys.
Completely out of context. That sentence makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
There is a panel where the leader, it's like a flashback to a previous like leader encounter where he's completely disintegrated, and then there's like it's indicated that like the green door brought him back. The thing is, we don't know any of the details about that. We don't know like how long it took the green door to bring him back, because the green door can totally vary from like instantly in some of the Hulk's cases to months in some of the other Hulk cases. And the other Hulk cases where it took like months was because of the hypothalamus being destroyed. So Bruce Banner was wrong when he said that the hypothalamus would just 100% kill him. He could never come back. It would kill him, but it would take him like way longer than normal to come back from the hypothalamus being destroyed, based on when that happened in the comics. And the Hulk himself has never come back from disintegration, so it's unclear if that is a consistent ability of the Green Door or it's not, based on the Hulk's actual feats, where he's never actually done that.
Also, the Green Door is wild. So as far as I understand, right, the Green Door is for people who got like radiation poisoning, like Bruce, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like
Gamma.
It's people who have gamma radiation. It is a place below hell.
Yeah.
Lowest layer.
And then when they die, people who had their souls gamma radiated go below hell, and then sometimes a new Green Door opens up and they can go back to real life.
Yeah.
This basically wild stuff.
Basically.
For people who don't know about the Green Door.
There is a specific green door. It's a rift where the original Gamma Bomb exploded. And in the Immortal Hulk series, which is fantastic, you all should read it. Even if you're not into comics, it is a very good run. In the comics, they do go back to that place, and that's sort of what leads to the initial confrontation with the One Below All. Real quick, I did want to address a comment in the chat from a floating shopping list. Question is, would Broly be calm enough to eat a sensu bean mid-fight? We don't really know. Again, it didn't really matter. Like, it wasn't part of our reasoning. Like, we never even mentioned sensu beans or healing for Broly in our, conclusion. It was just mentioned in a tab, literally not even spoken of, to cover all the bases.
And I'll say this: if Broly is like damaged enough that when he is damaged thoroughly enough, he will fade back into lower forms, like any Saiyan. So if that happens, then he would become calm enough to use a senzu bean.
That's true. Yes.
And I'd like to point out this. That's a better constructed question than, can Broly eat bean? Like, so like asking that is so much better than just can eat bean.
or just
yeah,
laughing at it without any sort of constructive criticism, which is what I kept seeing. So I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay,
construct that criticism.
All right, let's get to the next one.
Okay, so I got a dog now. Great, just great.
Well, the answer to that question is
yeah. Why wasn't the statement that Marvel's universe is at least 1 trillion light years long included to increase its size and thus Hulk's power?
Yes, so it was. The thing is, if new evidence about characters comes out after we do research, sometimes it won't always make it in. But rest assured, I did do the math when I saw that 1 trillion universe statement, and I think the highest multiplier you could give the Hulk with that is like 96,000 something universe times like universes he could blow up, which is still way below what Broly can do. So even with that, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Pretty straightforward, yeah. It's not one of the questions, but I did want to address. I know some people were like, "Oh, they lowballed Broly because we didn't like calculate a maximum power or whatever for Broly." We absolutely didn't, because there really is no way to do that, or at least not reliably in like a way that I think everybody could agree on, because we don't know how powerful Blue Gogeta is. Like, who knows what that fusion actually does between Goku and Vegeta. We know what they're stronger in comparison to, which is what we used. And then, we know how strong Super Saiyan 3 is in comparison to base and whatnot. So there are some aspects we can use, but like Broly, just based on the bare minimum assumptions of what these fusions and transformations are capable of, is just so much more powerful that the universe, being so much larger than our own, didn't really factor into it much.
The difficulty with Dragon Ball is that the best feat that they scale to, that's like you can apply math to, happens in the beginning of Super. It's the universe clash between Goku and Beerus, and it's actually the same in Z too. The best calculatable feat is from Frieza, who blows up Planet Vegeta and Planet Namek. So you have to kind of take that as a base and go, I know they're way more powerful than that, but how much more? And kind of estimate past then.
Yeah, and even then, like, obviously Goku in the tournament arcs later, and the Moro arc in the manga, if you want to even go that far, is obviously base Goku is going to be more powerful than he was when fighting Beerus way back in the beginning of Super. Yeah. Like, even though we were using the 9 times whatever universe multiplier, that's still low for whatever he is. We just can't get an exact number for what his base level of power is later on. Yeah. And fortunately, in this case, it didn't matter. Like, Broly was more powerful anyway. So we're just like, whatever. We know this is, easily or understandable and confirmable. So we're just going to use that rather than guessing stuff for later.
Yeah.
Next question.
Cool. Hulk survived to be the last person alive in the universe. He's so powerful, the devil saw fit to take over his body. Why didn't he use this form?
Dude, this part of Immortal Hulk is fucking wild.
Oh, it's awesome.
It is awesome. Such a good moment. And I don't really want to talk too much about it, because like I want people to experience this part of the story like naturally. Yeah. But we do have to like cover why we didn't use it. Okay, so technically that is correct, but it's also partially incorrect. That's not Hulk. Mm-hmm. It's just not Hulk. It's the one below all using his power in the Hulk's body. Yeah. Right? The only reason why he needs the Hulk's body is because he needs it to get to the mortal plane. That's it. Like, that's kind of the one below all's whole plan for Hulk, is to use him to get his own power into Hulk and then to use that on the universe.
He's looking for a body.
Yeah, we can't, like a physical form. We can't use that because that's not Hulk. Yeah. That would then turn the fight into Broly versus the one below all.
Well, yeah, which is different.
Which might be interesting. I mean, but I don't know. One below all is also like,
one below all is
harder to figure out. how powerful would he even be? Like it could
as
be very
powerful
difficult.
as the one above all, as the one that we thought was just God in Marvel. Now, oh no, there's another one of them.
Yeah. So
the one above all is, he came out of nowhere. He slipped up there.
The one who's tired of this shit.
Yeah.
So again, highly recommend reading Immortal Hulk. It's dope as shit. But that's the basic idea. It's just not. It's not Hulk.
It is a weird way to open an ad, but it's very delicious cereal, and it comes to us courtesy of the fine folks over at Magic Spoon. These guys, when I heard there might be an ad at the show, they might be supporting the show, I was like, yes, please. Because I heard about them online and stuff like that. And I love cereal, but as a grown-up, it's very hard to eat cereal guilt-free, because all it is pretty much sugar and bad-for-you stuff. But this bad boy right here, 11 grams of protein, 3 net carbs, 0 sugar. Pretty easy to eat without any guilt at all. And plus, it's keto-friendly, gluten-free, soy-free, low-carb, GMO-free. It's, in general, a very guilt-free food and a very, very delicious food. They got 4 flavors. They got cocoa, they got fruity, they got frosted, and they got blueberry, which I think blueberry is actually my favorite. I think blueberry and cocoa are my top 2, and they are fantastic. But the whole lineup is really good. I've enjoyed them all. They sent me 8 boxes, I think about 3 weeks ago. And, yeah, I'm on my last box now, so I'm glad this ad finally came up before I finished all the cereal. But yeah, it's genuinely amazing. I've been loving it. It is really dope to just eat an entire box of cereal and not feel that guilty about it as a grown-up. So yeah, that maybe it's just a healthier alternative for you. For me, it's an excuse to eat a whole bunch of cereal. So you can click the link below and grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use the promo code CAST at checkout to get free shipping, or go to magicspoon.com/cast. Yeah, check it out. It's really awesome. It's fantastic cereal that you don't have to feel like trash about eating. So give it a look.
And that one leads right into the next question of why didn't Hulk scale to the one below all?
Yeah, because he just is not as powerful. I think actually that future Hulk thing is like evidence of that, where the one below all possessing the Hulk's body is vastly more powerful than anything that the regular Hulk can do. And it makes sense, right? The Hulk is powerful because he's drawing a fraction of his power, or a fraction of the one below all's power. He's drawing from that. So he's just not going to be as powerful as the one below all. It wouldn't make sense. And the one instance where you could potentially scale them, it's not a definitive fight. He doesn't match the one below all. He claps away the one below all's cloudy avatar, and he blows away Brian Banner, who is possessed by the one below all. But just being possessed by the one below all doesn't mean you're as powerful, right? Like you need the right body and you need time. And the one at the end of time, like, had consumed a bunch of people, like Franklin Richards. So it was super powerful at that point. Brian Banner being possessed by the one below all isn't the same kind of thing. So him being knocked away by a thunderclap isn't definitive. It's especially not definitive when the Hulk says, "I'm only buying time. This will buy us a minute." If he was capable of fighting and defeating the one below all there, he could have.
Right.
Well, well then this one, I'm probably going to butcher part of this upcoming word, but why did you use the Dragon Ball Daizenshu?
Yeah.
Maybe? That's old information and doesn't apply to Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I saw some people talking about this, and unless I missed something, the Daizenshu should still apply.
Yeah.
They might have been getting it confused with, like, so there's some debate over whether or not Super Saiyan Blue should have the same multiplier as Super Saiyan, just on the, whatever Super Saiyan God power level is. We only used it for Super Saiyan 3 versus applied to Goku's base, which he can still do. It still exists. And then Super Saiyan God, like the full Super Saiyan God form, is the next step, or step, quote unquote, and then Super Saiyan Blue is more powerful, and so on. So it's still technically applies. It was never made, null or outdated or anything like that. We obviously just aren't using it for forms that aren't specified in the Daizenshu, because it did come out, before Super, obviously. But that's all. Like, I don't know. I think that might have just been a little bit of confusion based on the, just throwing numbers out and just the number of forms Goku has. Because there is no way, and I even saw some people mentioning it in the chat, it's not just that we don't know how powerful Blue Gogeta is. We don't know how powerful God Goku is, or what is it, Saiyan Beyond God is, or even technically how that works. It's like different in the anime and manga sometimes, and it's never really 100% explained how Saiyan Beyond God works, whether or not he's just in God form at base form or base level, or if he has to like charge it up to get into Super Saiyan God form, because the Super Saiyan God form still exists, even though it seemed like it shouldn't. But it's a little messy, basically. So no, we didn't apply those numbers to those forms. It was just to the original forms that they were meant to be based on, and there's no reason why the Daizenshu should be considered out of date at this point. That's all.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I also wanted to point out, somebody I missed it because it's like a little further up on the chat. Somebody asked like they don't understand how Hulk was calculated to be faster. I think that was just from the Thor feat, right?
Yeah. It was just comparing the Thor feat to the shockwaves of the Universe Clash feat. Yeah,
I mean, as they're increasing in power and Broly's going into the different forms and whatnot, he's going to eventually surpass that.
Yeah.
Because he's Broly. That's just how Dragon Ball works. But yeah, based on those two feats, Hulk would be theoretically faster, at least typically.
Yeah,
until they
initially
start going higher up, which is probably the most tricky thing to like communicate about this fight, is that they are constantly increasing in power, and that includes everything. And because we didn't even mention this in the fight, but I would say, like, because Broly specifically has transformations that really boost that power, he's almost got like an advantage in that way, whereas Hulk is like a steady incline, whereas Broly's almost like jumping to like different increases, and then still increasing beyond that because he's Broly, and who needs a Zenkai boost when you can just make it happen?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I think that wraps up the questions. We are looking at the chat. If you're watching this live, first of all, thank you for joining us. We do this every Wednesday at noon Central Time. So if anybody has any other things they think we should talk about in the about the episode, let us know in the chat.
Especially if you have questions for next week as far as the animation goes, keep those in mind too.
Yes. Yes, we will be talking about animation more in detail next week.
We can move on to what's going on.
What is going on with Death Battle Season 8? Okay, so next, well, I guess this year, this year's Death Battle,
this year,
Season 8, it is going to be our 10th year anniversary season, essentially, even though we're technically going to reach 11th year anniversary before the year is over. Which is crazy. Oh, I see. Why did the mask give Dummy the letter? I'll get to that in a little bit. So let's see. Season 8 begins March 7th, and we are really focusing on making this year all about like really memorable episodes, which, obviously we always do. But this one is more so like picking out matchups and almost treating them in a way that they could theoretically be, all of them could theoretically be like a season opener or a season finale and feel appropriate for that. Like that's how big we want to make these matchups, these episodes. We've talked a little bit about like the goal, like what kind of episodes we're going to be doing, and I've seen people saying like, oh, they're doing legacy matches. And I wanted to clarify that because that's not entirely true, and also legacy matches has different meanings for different people. Yeah. There are a bunch of different kinds of matchups we are doing, but they all the general idea is that they all have some sort of history with us. So that includes suggestions that have been popular for many, many years, including some that have been suggested since day one. Matchups that we've been passionate about, that we've talked about. There are definitely a couple that people have been predicting that are happening. Big fights between some of the most demanded characters of all time. That's very much like, season finale sort of thing, but those are going to be sprinkled in throughout the whole year. And then maybe even a long-awaited and highly requested rematch. Like a true rematch, kind of like what we did with Mario Sonic.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All right, so there's also the stinger that happened at the end of Hulk versus Broly, which I know some people have been theorizing about. What's going on with Boomstick? He got a letter from his dad? Bump, bump, bump. So don't worry if you're not interested in whatever shenanigans Boomstick's getting into. Death Battle's not changing into the Adventures of Whiz and Boomstick. Although that would be a cool-ass show. That would be a great show. And I want to do that, but that's not what's happening. It's still going to be, prioritizing the matchups and whatnot. Yeah. But, maybe Boomstick might get to learn a little bit more about himself. We'll see.
Get some more, like, we like who doesn't love a post-credits gag? Like,
truly.
That's pretty much, like, they're great.
I'm a little conflicted over... I don't remember whose idea it was. I think it was yours, Liam. I'm a little conflicted over the mask being the one to give him the letter, because now
I see him as the Death Battle Hermes, as the deliverer of messages. Now I think
it makes so much
role.
sense, and it's also a good way for the mask to be involved in a way that Deadpool is not or was not.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many people go like, wait. The mask is Boomstick's dad. And I'm like,
no, just his daddy.
Oh God, that wasn't the intention. Oh no. Oh my God. But man, we obviously can't talk about the specific matchups just yet. We will be announcing, this season premiere later on before it airs. But holy shit, there are some really fun matchups that we've been working on. I am so hyped to share them with you. It's really hard to talk about because I feel like I'm that close to spoiling stuff.
Yeah, right.
But Liam is directing a few episodes this year, which is awesome. Josh is coming back to direct a few episodes as well.
Yeah.
Which means I don't have to direct every episode. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank God. I might actually be able to do other things. No, it's going to be great. So look out for that March 7th. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And I do also, before we get to the community death battle, I do want to give a quick shout out to another cool series, Red vs. Blue Zero. The whole season is out for everybody. If you haven't seen it, this year's showrunner was Torian, who, if you enjoyed any of his death battles that he's worked on, you're gonna get a kick out of this. Like, did you like All Might versus Might Guy, Ryu versus Din, Dante Bayonetta, Virgil Sephiroth? There's so many awesome fights that he did, and he takes a lot of that energy into Red vs. Blue Zero. So you owe it to yourself to check that out. And it's all available, and you can start binging it right now. Please go check that out. It's really cool. So just a quick shout out to that, because I'm super proud of him and the team behind that. It was a really fun series. All right.
With that, that means we're going to community death battle.
Woo! Woo!
Hey, guess what? Green Chef's what? It's a chef that's green, and he comes to your door, and he gives you delicious food. What's different than Green Chef than other ones? Well, let me tell you. Green Chef is the first USD certified organic meal kit company, and Green Chef makes eating well, easy, and affordable with plans for every lifestyle. It's not just healthy food, it's food that can fit your specific diets, including keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, and not like me. I thought maybe at first I was like, oh, Green Chef, maybe that's like strictly vegetarian, vegan. Nah, they got the meats if you're looking for them. So you can get Green Chef, and it can fit in any lifestyle you're looking for, and it provides you an easy, affordable way to eat healthier. And not only just being the first USD certified organic kit, they're also, they source seasonal ingredients when they're ripe and fresh and good. So you get really, really fresh stuff. You're not getting like last year's tomato or nothing like that. So yeah, it makes the food extra delicious. And on top of that, it is the only keto meal kit. So you got that, and they have other recipes that average only 14 net carbs. So it makes eating low carb life easy. And yeah, it's a great service. I had a blackened chicken on top of rice the other day. That was fantastic. We had some Greek feta burgers that were out of this world. Everything I've had from them so far has been awesome. And I definitely really appreciate all the fresh produce that comes with it, because the later you get into the 30s, the more your body tells you you must eat healthy or you're going to feel terrible all the time. And Green Chef makes you feel pretty good. Yeah. So go to greenchef.com/DBC90 and use the code DBC90 to get $90 off, including free shipping. $90, if you didn't know, it's quite a lot of money to get off of anything. So go use that, DBC90 at greenchef.com/DBC, and use that promo code. Get yourself some awesome, healthy food. On with the show.
Sam,
So this
keeping us
one's weird.
on topic this week. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
you know, yeah. Now that I'm a producer, I'm like on time. But this week is a bit weird. Elsa versus the Balrog, which was, I think, a Chad suggestion, and a very strange one.
It's specifically Durin's Bane, right? The one that's in.
The one
from.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Balrog of Morgoth.
Of Morgoth.
I thought that's the one that
you mean of Moria
Gandalf fights.
Yeah, in Moria.
Maybe.
Moria.
Okay,
Morgoth
I wrote it down.
Is
I copy pasted it from the wiki. I don't know a lot about Lord of the Rings. I was like, copy paste.
Morgoth is like the Lord of the Rings devil. He's like Sauron's boss. Moria.
Yeah, that's the name. I think I called him
mines.
Malkar or something like that in the last
Melkor.
episode. Melkor. Yeah.
Okay.
That's also his name. That's his elven, or not his angel name.
The Balrog.
right. Yeah, I think we talked about just the Balrog from the Moria one. But
there's a lot.
We did talk about how
There's
there
a
was like
bunch
an
of
ultra
Balrogs.
Balrog, the like King Balrog, whatever his name is. So just the Balrog. Also, does he have wings? I know that's going to be a big question. All right. So, but as always with the community death battle, we leave it up to you guys to let us know who you think should win and why. So let's go ahead and bring up the first answer between this amazing matchup of Elsa versus Balrog, the Balrog. Let's see, from Delphinus, a Balrog is literally a corrupted Maiar, I believe is how it's pronounced. Maiar.
Mm-hmm.
One of the angels of the Tolkien universe, and basically on par with Gandalf and Saruman, or also Maiar. They are more of a spiritual concept affecting the world through a fiery avatar than a being of flesh, blood, and fire. Elsa has no way to hurt it. Oh, shit.
Yeah. They're like angels.
Yeah, but
basically.
It's still a physical form.
Right, but like, even if you destroy that form, you're not really killing them.
I mean,
i.e. Gandalf.
You can say the same thing. Yeah, exactly, for Gandalf.
Right.
Like, Gandalf, the Balrog did destroy Gandalf's physical form, and then he was like, yeah, but now I'm better. Like, he just came right back in it, right? Like, he just...
Yeah, but okay, hang on. Did the Maiar come back on their own volition, though? I thought it was whatever the higher deity is that brings them back.
Eru Iluvatar is the name of the god. I have no idea to that answer. I just know that they are kind of like Darkseid in a weird way. But they have that kind of like nebulous conceptual self, and then like the dude that fights on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
I'm under the impression they basically go back where they came from, and then if they're needed back,
they're reconstituted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Gandalf was sent back to replace Saruman as the White Wizard.
He did a bad job.
Yeah,
He sucked.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not enough of a Lord of the Rings nerd to know that specific stuff. So maybe somebody in the chat does. I'm paying attention to the chat for this, for sure. But let's go ahead and bring up the answer for Elsa, who's really powerful, guys. Elsa, hands down. In Frozen 1, she froze a country by accident. By the end of Frozen 2, she can instantly freeze a tsunami. And per Frozen 2, right directly channels the energy of Earth through Atahalan?
Atahalan, yep.
In addition to having the elemental spirits on call, Balrog gonna get iced. There we go.
Balrog's
So-
musical number also really sucks. So I mean,
That's a good point. Yeah,
Doesn't have quite the same voice.
no.
Yeah, no.
I gut feeling think that it's Elsa, but I want to vote the Balrog because I think it's cooler and I'd rather it win. That's where I'm at right
Tovik
now.
in the chat says the Maiar who were corrupt, when they die, they can't move on, like Saruman. So when Saruman dies, he doesn't go back and gets reborn. So
Gotcha.
the Balrogs should not be able to be reborn then? I guess
Okay,
that's what
so
that
he's
means.
locked to his physical form.
So long as she can destroy the current physical form, she should win, unless there's some crazy thing going on, which is totally possible. It's Lord of the Rings. Okay. Man, what a matchup! I have no idea how to even start.
I will say for the Elsa freezing a country feat, that's really impressive. But there are two big things that need to be taken into consideration. A, how big is that country? Technically, Vatican City is a country. Obviously, Arendelle or whatever it is bigger than Vatican City, right? We don't know quite. At least I don't know without doing any research how big it is. Secondly, it happened over time. And I believe it was already winter, or at least it was already a really cold place.
It's a cold place, but it's summer.
It was summer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But the median, the
It
average
does like
temperature.
expand. It's not instant.
Yeah. The average temperature is still lower than like if she did it in the Sahara Desert. So there's a couple of factors.
Yeah, they were still wearing
the,
heavy coats, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think yeah.
So that could radically affect the amount of energy that's put into that attack. Yeah. So
and I'm gonna assume, like with Olaf and Elsa, it's probably kind of based off a Nordic country, which generally they are pretty small. It's not like she froze America, right?
Right.
Like it's
Right. You could probably compare it to
Denmark.
Denmark to Norway is kind of like a general gauge.
Yeah.
Of possible sizes, maybe. I mean, it's also just like a single village. Right? Like, do we ever see any other villages?
I think it might just be one.
Not anything major, yeah.
I guess there is the other
actually
village in the forest in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's wherever the Icers are from at the beginning of the first movie. I don't remember if they have their own village or not. So there might be multiple villages in the kingdom, but there probably is. There better be. But
it actually wouldn't be the hardest thing to calculate too if you could just like get a allegorical country like for the size of it and then just be like, oh yeah, she lowered the entire like this square mileage 20-30 degrees Fahrenheit. Like the calculation actually wouldn't be that insane to do.
No, not at all.
It should be interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm still voting Balrog. Not changing my mind.
Balrog is not accidentally setting the entire area around him on fire though. So
it's true.
But that's exactly it.
Actually, kind of
the Balrog's not doing that because he knows how to use its powers. Elsa is, has accents. I don't know.
Well, she certainly knows how to use it by the end of the second movie, or even at the beginning of the second movie. I mean, spoilers for the second movie, which I think is much better than the first movie. She's half spirit, so that
we got something else in common.
There's like some weird spiritual like human hybrid thing going on with Elsa, and she can doesn't she transform into some sort of creature or something like that? At the end of it, I can't remember what she does. Or she just appears out of ice or something like that. Like she's able to merge with ice. I can't remember the exact thing that happens, but I don't know. The fact that she can just summon ice to the certain extent of the castle and also of a tidal wave, I feel like might be able to overwhelm the Balrog.
Mm-hmm.
She can also just make it happen. She doesn't need to use existing water. She's not a waterbender. She doesn't need to use existing water. She can just poof, ice. It's there.
It's also worth mentioning that the Balrog that fought Gandalf, it was called Durin's Bane, is possibly one of the weakest of all the Balrogs. So he's not the strongest. I don't know what the range is. I remember a feat where Gandalf was fighting Durin's Bane and they did a lot of damage to this mountain. I don't know how much damage to that mountain it was, so I don't know how to calculate it. But that's a potential feat. Don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also the question that the big debate I know between Lord of the Rings fans: would flight matter for the Balrog?
Right.
If it has it, because some people say they can fly, some people say they can't.
Can they not fly? He has wings.
They do have wings, but
They don't necessarily have
fall.
wings. That's the debate. Because some of the language in the book sort of seems to imply it. Because Tolkien likes to say, like, he flew to this location, but what he actually means is they just like ran really fast.
Yeah. There's a lot of running in those movies.
There is.
There's a lot of debate over whether or not he has. Also, there's like a moment in the books where they're like, the shadow eclipses them as if it were wings or something like that. So it's like, wait, are the shadows actually wings, or is it just Balrog's shadow? Is it like a formless shadowy thing? So there's debate over whether or not Balrog can fly. I don't think it really matters in this regard, because Elsa could just
Iceman around the dude. I mean, it doesn't.
Could just summon a giant glacier above it and crush it. Like, really. And the size of Balrogs are also under debate. Like in the movie, the Balrog is huge, but there's also some debate that it might be just like, he's just a man. He's just the same size as a man. So welcome to that. If a Balrog ever appears in Death Battle, nobody's going to agree with us with how we even show the Balrog versus who wins.
Balrog from Street Fighter.
Perfect. That's our next community death.
The Balrog wins. Well, no. Okay, let's look at the votes.
Yeah.
Well, first we got to vote.
We got to vote.
Balrog. I voted 10 minutes ago. Balrog. I'm still staying on it.
Elsa. Billy.
I'm going Elsa. I mean, I'm going with the person with the fantastic outfit. So.
All right, perfect. That's a good enough reason for me.
Better musical numbers.
I'm going Balrog. I think that maybe some religious, metaphysical stuff in Tolkien is gonna give him some advantages.
Yeah, let's lay into some vague Tolkien shit, and that'll help us out. We can extrapolate that out like crazy.
We got this straight down the middle here. This is great.
All right. Well, as always, we leave it up to you all to let us know who you think should win. So let's go ahead and bring up the poll. Whoa! Oh no, poor Elsa.
I really didn't see this one coming at all. I figured it would be the other way.
I thought so too.
Especially with, like, I guess our audience doesn't like Disney princesses. It's like,
just gotta let it go, man.
It's weird.
All right, we're just gonna like try to label everybody. Yeah, 34% of people like Disney princesses, and 66% of people don't like Disney princesses.
I thought we'd get the
what this is all
irony
about.
Maybe a lot of them have just like have kids and they've heard "Let It Go" like 7,000 times, and they're just like, anything to kill this woman. Shut her up, please. Jesus. But let's move on to the next one. Let's set the next community death battle. I see you have a couple here, Ben. I'm gonna add to it. I think, Billy, I'm gonna give you a list and then you can pick one. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me.
Ben, does that work for you too?
I like that.
We have Hulk versus Asura.
Asura.
Asura, sorry.
We can skip that one. Just Hulk versus Asura, simply because that's like the other big request for Hulk that we didn't do because, well, we can get into that.
Delphinus versus Helicarrier?
I just saw somebody on Twitter mention that. Nick Vincible. I was like, oh, the Delphinus from Skies of Arcadia is awesome. Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what. Okay, hell yeah. That one is pretty dope. I also probed the community Discord for it, and I got some Cole McGrath versus Electro. I haven't played the most recent Infamous game that came out like 5 years ago, but I'm pretty sure Electro is going to win that one. Barrett versus Jax. I bet you by the end of the remake, Barrett's going to win, but that's still a fun fight. They have robot arms. This one, 10 Ash-sized Pikachus versus 100 Pikachu-sized Ashes. The 10 Ash-sized Pikachus are definitely going to win that.
Wait.
Like, come on.
That's so unfair. That's super unfair.
We have 10 Ash-sized Pikachus versus 100 Pikachu-sized Ashes. Like, I would wager one Pikachu-sized Pikachu might be able to beat 100 Ash-sized Ashes. So, they're definitely going to the 10 giant Pikachus. Like,
what about
no
one?
Questions.
What about one Kyogre-sized Ash versus one Pikachu-sized Pikachu? Without the type weakness of Kyogre.
One
that would be a
Balrog-sized Ash versus a Pikachu.
What Balrog is it? Is it the big Balrog or the human Balrog?
Let's not get caught up here.
Then it's just an Ash-sized Ash.
Okay.
Variables.
Itachi Uchiha versus Madoka Orochimaru, which is Naruto versus Infinite Stratus, I believe. Spider-Man versus Ladybug, which I think we did something similar before. Did
we should do that one.
I think we did.
Spider-Man versus Ladybug sounds pretty good.
Versus somebody, I don't recall the.
It's a really popular one.
Was it Star Butterfly? We did Ladybug versus Star Butterfly, maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure we did
something
Spider-Man
like
versus
that.
Ladybug.
Oh, or no,
yeah,
no, it's Ladybug versus Marvelous or something like that.
We should do
right?
Ladybug versus Superman because technically Ladybug can just summon kryptonite.
Well,
What?
I have a few
Out
more
of
for
nowhere.
you. Silver Surfer versus Martian Manhunter. Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna, which is a pretty good wizard one,
This
but
is a
I'm
lot.
pretty damn sure Silver Witch wins.
Let's
Billy,
do
are
all of
you
them.
getting
I'm a
all
good
of
fan.
this?
I kind of want to see the airship battle from the beginning.
Airship battle.
I like
okay.
that.
That
We'll
sounds
go
like
with
a
the
good
airship
one.
battle.
Never
All right,
played Skies of Arcadia. Here,
probably
it's
the
great.
most niche of them all. The helicarrier. This is the helicarrier from, I guess, the MCU. Let me actually open up that tweet from Nick Vincible.
This is going to be such a weird one.
He said, yeah, the helicarrier from Marvel versus the Delphinus from Skies of Arcadia, the Sky Pirate game from the
Yeah.
Dreamcast,
I
which is like
assume
one of my favorite
Captain-
games of all time. I love that game, but
Very good.
I don't know if anybody's gonna
Yeah,
know.
I mean, if it's
or
not too
even
niche.
remember the Delphinus. It's pretty niche.
Let's
but
try it.
But
I'm
I
down
like
for
niche.
it.
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, helicarrier versus the Delphinus. I don't know exactly how to set up rules for this because I know there's going to be like questions about who are the crew and whatnot. So are the Avengers on the helicarrier?
Yeah, I would say the Avengers are not on the helicarrier, or else they win, hands
Yeah.
down. Right?
It's
There's
like
not even a
Shield
question. Like,
Shield
versus
yeah,
the Blue
yeah,
Rogues.
it's just Shield agents.
Nick
Yeah,
Fury.
like, it can't be.
Okay, so Shield
Yeah.
versus the Blue Rogues on the helicarrier versus the Delphinus. That's what
Yeah.
we'll do.
I
So
like this.
Vice is there, but Vice isn't like, Captain America or anything like that, or
No,
his crew.
no.
But Nick Fury and his people can be there as well. Sure, I guess let's do that. Okay. You can
All
let
right.
us know who you think should win between the helicarrier and the Delphinus using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter. We will have a poll up on the Death Battle Twitter later on this week. And tune in next week. Again, we do this live every Wednesday at noon Central Time, as Billy will be coming back along with Melanie Stern, the animation director for Hulk versus Broly. We are going to get into the nitty gritty of how it was made and why it's so pretty looking.
Yeah.
Which is very much because of this guy and a whole bunch of people. We had an amazing team behind it. I really really proud of the whole team. So we'll be doing that next week. All right. I think that wraps everything up for today.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yep. So with that being said, then did want to say one last thing. There is a new series in addition to Red vs. Blue and the Transformers series, which you should definitely check out. There's a new series coming to Rooster Teeth very soon. Dead Little Roosters. The live action team has been working so hard on this, and it's phenomenal. It premieres Friday, January 8th. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I believe it's already out. You should go check that out. You can check it out on roosterteeth.com or on streaming apps like the RT one, which is on Amazon Fire, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox, and more. If you haven't checked out the RT streaming app, it's really cool. You should check that out. The cast is on it. Like you can watch everything on it. Basically, it's really neat. All right. So with that being said, thank you for joining us, Billy, Sam, Liam. Thank you so much. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Be awesome, and we'll see you next week.
take care, everybody.